Kyrsten Sinema is effectively, like Senator Manchin, the president, because if she decides that a piece of legislation shouldn't pass, I guess it's not gonna pass. And she has some issues with what's currently being debated by the Democrats right now, which is the infrastructure bill. And I happened to see a write-up about her strategy on Axios, and I had a little bit of a problem with the way they were presenting it. So let's dive into a little bit. Again, this is directly from Axios, and we'll talk a little bit more broadly about the bill. They say Senator Kyrsten Sinema is negotiating the size and scope of President Biden's $3.5 trillion budget plan, armed with her own spreadsheets about the costs and tax hikes needed for each program. People familiar with the matter tell Axios that certainly weren't sent there by her team. While Senator Joe Manchin is getting attention for balking at a $3.5 trillion top line price tag, Sinema's accountant-like focus on the bottom line will be equally important to winning the votes of them and other key Democrats. And they go on to say, Sinema's intense interest in the numbers also suggests she'll be a formidable foil for progressives like Senator Bernie Sanders, who are working to make the spending bill as big as possible. Now there's more, but Senator Turner, they, like Axios, basically, they would say, we just present the facts or whatever, but that sure seems like a sympathetic view of what she's doing right now. What do you think?
Yeah, if they had just laid out the fact that she has these charts, that's one thing, but the commentary surrounding this as if she is some big power player in this scenario is just, it makes me want to holler really loudly. I'm trying to save up my energy as I recover here and not use it to holler and scream about the Congresswoman Sinema. But the $3.5 trillion is a compromise. That is already the compromise position, because some were arguing for 6 trillion and others even 10 trillion. We have not done a whole lot in this nation over the last 20 years. Some might even argue 50 years, really, to really shore up the infrastructure in this nation and to somehow pretend as though $3.5 trillion is a lot of money given the neglect over decades. That is insanity. And you know what, John, one other point. The fact that injecting that money into this economy could put so many people back to work, there's so much good that can happen here. First of all, high paying jobs, good paying jobs for things that we need in this country. These are not luxuries we're talking about. We're talking about necessities of rebuilding roads and bridges, greening along the way for the future. So it's just the way that they're positioning Congresswoman Sinema doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I totally agree. Yesterday we showed Senator Manchin saying, at a time when there's so much uncertainty and we've lost so many jobs, I think we need a pause. Well, if we lost jobs, I think funding infrastructure projects seems like a pretty good way to get some back. But he doesn't even engage with that idea. And Axios doesn't even really engage with their premise. The premise here is that she is just focused on the bottom line. She's basically an accountant. And she just wants to make sure that we don't spend any more that we have to. Well, first of all, I would ask you, does anyone remember that being what Kyrsten Sinema ran on? Like that was what she presented herself as? Like a fiscal conservative, really worried about the debt, not interested in tax. She presented herself as like a former Green candidate, like a progressive. That's what I remember. Where's that? And by the way, feel free, jump in.
No, I'm sorry, John. I mean, more worried about the donor class than she is about the people in this country who could use this. I want to invite Dr. Robert Reich, if I may, into our conversation, John. He says, can the media stop acting like the Dems' $3.5 trillion budget package is some incomprehensible expenditure? It's a 3.5 trillion over 10 years. Can I slip a hello somebody in there? Hello somebody. Meanwhile, we spend more than 700 billion on defense every single year. That equates to more than 7 trillion over 10 years. Where is the media outrage on that? And so let me add to what the good Dr. Robert Reich said. Where is Congresswoman Sinema or Senator Manchin's outrage over that? We need to get our priorities straight.
You're totally right. Yeah, I hate that they call it the Department of Defense. It's just about defense. We're basically building walls and armor. That's all. It's the Department of Bombs. That's what it is. You know what defends people? Vaccines, safe bridges, elder care, that defends people a lot more. I'm not worried about a Canadian soldier shooting me. I am worried about, advanced illness. Have you seen my diet? It's coming. I want to make sure that the healthcare system is ready for it.
That's exactly.
But anyway,
right.
I would just love to hear from Senator Sinema, because this is not an accident. She sent people to Axios, or Axios just decided to do a favor for her. Okay, then if that's what you're gonna do, and it's about the spreadsheets, which program is too expensive? Which does she think needs more funding? Or is it that all of them need to be cut? Let me see what's in these actual spreadsheets, because what it sounds like is she just doesn't want to spend the money. And I could have told you that without this glossy PR write-up. I know she wants to stop the government from delivering for the people. That's not new, and it ain't about spreadsheets. She has a knee-jerk reaction to anything the government does that helps people. Sometimes she literally jerks her knees down into a little squatting thumbs down. That's what she does. Don't try to gussy it up and make her seem like some sort of by the numbers professional. She's a reactionary who doesn't want the government to deliver for the working class. That's all it is.
That's exactly it, John. And the senator needs to get a clue. I mean, so many of these people, and thank you, I'm sorry, my apology, I referred to her as Congresswoman before. But the senator needs to really get a clue. And some of these people have lost touch. They don't live the everyday lives, or can't even, even if they did in the past, because I'm not saying that everybody that is in the Congress as a whole, whether they're on the Senate side or the House side, have never had to endure poverty. But so many of them are so far from it that they have really lost contact, have lost track. And if the dear senator really wants to get a clue, instead of doing spreadsheets, come on to Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland is the poorest city of its size in the United States of America. I invite the senator, come on with me. And we won't have to do spreadsheets. We just go ahead and get a real life tour. Really, they should be there. Government is designed for us to do collectively what we cannot do as individuals. That is what it is designed to do. And some of these people do not understand that, or they just really don't care to understand that.
Yeah. And I think a visit to a bunch of different cities would be great. I think her visiting a few of the cities in Arizona wouldn't be that bad of an idea. We have a lot of viewers in Arizona, and from what they say, there's actually some problems that an infrastructure bill might fix there.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.